Hello students, I'm quickly going to go through Access with you, the one we did in our internal exam. Firstly, remember our question 4 is our structure. Please make sure you can remember how to print. After you are done, you save it, you close it, you go to Database Tools, Database Documenter. Remember to check your settings. You can just say Options. Nothing must be ticked. The second one must be ticked without properties, and then the word nothing. And then from here, make sure you have ticked inside the box and you say OK, and then you will be able to print. Then you had to right click on this activity, copy it, paste it. Then it would say copy of initials and surname. You would just go and delete the word copy of and then change question 4 to question 5. So question 5 with this one where you filled in all your information in as records. Then when you are done with this one, we have to do question 6, which tells you create a report to include the following information. But now you cannot create your report before you haven't done your query, because there's certain information that you do not in your report. So to do that, we go to create. And I always make sure I stand on my last question, question 5. You go to query wizard. Then you just say, OK. Then from here, make sure it says question 5 because that's where your information has been typed in. Then you have to take over your headings, whichever method you like. We need a name of vehicle as displayed as 1.1, fuel consumption, liters required, price per liter. We don't want your, in our case, it will be examination number. And then you also want fuel cost, which we don't have. We will look at that just now. Then you say next, 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 until you cannot say next anymore, and you say finish. Now this looks basically like your question 5. Remember, we want to do changes to it. So let's always go home. Then this familiar one, design view, or you can go to design view over here. Then it looks like this. Now our question 1.2 tells us display the records of the vehicles which require 100 and more than 100 liters of fuel to complete the trip of 800 kilometers. So you go check underneath your headings in question 5 where you did your records. You can just use your question paper and then you will see, or you can just check here, but then you will see the liters required. So underneath this heading, liters required, we go here where it says criteria and we click. Now remember, it wants 100 kilometers included. So you have to say equal 100. Then they also want more than 100 liters. So if you cannot remember which side is which side for bigger than, smaller than, play around with it. You can always come and fix it. And you say 100. Now you want to make sure it's correct. You just say run. And now you can see liters required. They are 100 and more than 100. Okay, but we are not done yet. Let's turn our question paper around. And we see that they tell you, I was sure they asked to sort. Maybe I'm just thinking it, but let's say they wanted you to sort. They would indicate the column of which they want you to sort. So you see vehicle, let's say they told you fuel consumption. Then you would click underneath fuel consumption and underneath in the row of sort. Or for vehicle, you would click and sort. And when you click here, you will see ascending or descending. Okay, if they ask you that. Now, 1.3 tells you the fuel cost is calculated by multiplying the liters required by the price per liter. So we can see that we don't have that fuel cost heading. How do we calculate that? You click in the last column and we type in capital letters. We type in the word fuel cost and you put a double point. And then we start our formula with a round bracket. Now, how do we calculate it? By multiplying the liters letters required. Now remember, we cannot go click on letters required. Do you see how it is typed? It's typed with a square bracket. Then we type in the name of the heading. Letters, and make sure you put the spelling exactly the same. Letters required. If you misspelled it, then you use the same spelling as you see over here. I haven't done it in lowercase before, but let's see if it works. Okay, and because you are done with this heading, do you see? You are done with it, so you close the square bracket. Multiply means times, and then multiply by what? Multiply by price per liter. So again, square bracket, price per liter, exactly the same spelling, price per liter. Okay, and you are finished with the heading, so square bracket. You are finished with your formula, so round bracket, you end it off. Let's go run it and see if it's correct. Yes, it used it with lowercase, so it is fine if you use lowercase. You see there's fuel cost, and there is your calculation. Now, all you do now is you just make sure you save it. You say save. If you're not trusting the save, then just go to File and you say Save. Don't you save as. Then you close it. And that's how we do our query. Oops.